how to permanently stop weeds growing in gaps and paving slabs using a simple dry mix method. It's a system I've refined over nearly a decade to move away from constant maintenance and toward a permanent solution. Now, I know this method looks almost too simple to work. A lot of comments have been skeptical, but over the years I've had many people suggest it wouldn't last the winter and that it's just a temporary fix. But since I first filmed this back in 2017 and did a quick video to share my process, I kept the cameras rolling to track the progress. I'm not just sharing a quick tip here, I'm showing you a documented history. I've even written a detailed article to back up this real world example to prove that if you get the system right the first time, you don't have to keep doing this work every spring. So if you're looking for a proven easy way to reclaim your garden patio once and for all, let's go through the steps, the common questions I had, and exactly why this had stood the test of time for over 9 years. How to permanently stop weeds growing in paving gaps. We're using my easy dry mix method. It's something I've refined over nearly 10 years to move away from the constant mess and the weeds and to a permanent fix for your garden. I know this looks almost too simple to work, and a lot of your comments have suggested that, but over the years I've had many comments suggesting it wouldn't last the winter, that it's a completely temporary fix. But since I filmed the first version of this back in 2017, I kept doing little updates every few years as I moved houses and got new gardens. Today I'm showing you the entire journey from those original 2017 clips. They are on my YouTube channel, so you can see those, and also the look at my new house in 2026. And I'm answering some of those common questions that I had in those videos. This video is a combination of all of those little clips to save you going through that history, but I will link you to the playlist because there is a lot of detail I go into throughout this journey that you will find useful if you look at individual clips. People don't often ask, does this work on block paving, or what about crazy paving? The answer is yes, whether you have the standard slabs, brick blocks, or irregular crazing paving. The logic is the same. It's all part of the gap. I'm going back to my 2017 footage to show you the mix. I use a specific ratio of sand, cement. I don't use water, and that's the dry mix method. You'll see me brushing this. And the trick isn't just the mix, it's how to prepare the area. The trick isn't just the mix, it's how you prepare the area. And I've got a few steps that I will give you to look through this, as well as a guide that I wrote an article about to address all of this. So if you skip the cleaning or the drying process, the system kind of falls apart. I'm proving this as it's over 9 years now since I first did this, and the gap is bone dry. But when the mix goes in, it bonds to the sides of the paving and it creates its own barrier. Simply, weeds can't penetrate this anymore. And if it was laid down correctly with the plastic underneath the slabs originally, it's even better. Let's address the most common questions that I've had over the last 9 years in those 6 or 7 different videos and variations I did. First, does it crack? In 2017, I was worried about that too, but it was like a quick fix. I thought this will work, and I tried it and it worked very well. And 5 years later, I did an update with very minimal surface stuff growing in there, which you'll see in some of these video updates. The weeds can't tunnel through, which is good. It's about ants. Ants tend to hate the mix, but sometimes they come through and create holes, so that's where like something can be you want to think about. It's hard to remove if you change your mind. Not really, it's strong enough to stop a weed, but brittle enough that a hammer and chisel can pop it out if you ever need to replace a slab. It's a perfect middle ground between loose sand and solid concrete. And there's stuff out there like polymeric sand and things. I've never really used that. Maybe I will if you think that's something I want to test, but it's worked well for me. Simple concrete mix, dry cement, sand, And I also tried something different, a variation of salt, which a lot of people in the comments suggested, but that didn't do anything at all. So if you're hearing salt, nah, it just gets washed out. It's no real idea behind that. If you take one thing away from this process, is let it be the dry mix, because it's easier to apply. You brush it in. You'll see in my 2021 update that I emphasize the dry mix is like nice and easy. Even a hint of moisture in those gaps when you brush it in your mix will keep it there, and it will heal itself. Once it's in, we do the final brush off, and that kind of works very nicely. Overall, you'll see the slabs themselves, when you brush in, it's just going into the gaps that you've created. I didn't use water, it was a dry day, but look at the floor. This was another common question. People are asking me, should I water it in? Should I then put water? No, because look, you can see the video. The proof is here. As the water is drawn from the gap, it's a capillary type action. There will be moisture in the ground. When something dry is on the ground, it naturally wants to suck up moisture. You see how the lines of the slab are really dark? They're dark for a reason. They pulled up water from the moisture. Look, that is water, but we didn't put any water there. So the good thing here is it just gets wet where it needs to be wet. So the cement starts to cure and you don't have stains or marks on the slabs, which are horrendous later on. See, that is even curing now. And the longer it takes to cure, the better it is. You're not looking at a really tight concrete mix here. What the idea here is to fill the gap, so any seeds that drop on the ground, when it gets windy, they will get blown away by the wind. We don't want them settling in the gap. When they settle in the gap, they draw moisture and the seeds start to hatch, and that's what becomes weeds. So you have to change your mind of how you're thinking about this. And it also works on block paving. So in my new house in 2026, I did change the setup a little bit. I went down a little bit deeper because I did not know if this ground here would have plastic underneath it. So the block paving may have just been laid on soil, and if you do this properly, you should have a plastic membrane underneath, and then the slabs are laid on top. And I also did a salt test, which was just a useless thing. A lot of people in the comments have seen other videos talk about this, and I did the test and there was no differentiating thing. Whether you use salt or not, nothing. Imagine it, salt dilutes in water. When it rains, it washes away. So even if it's there for 6-7 months, the amount of rain we get in the UK, I proved and dispelled that salt is useless really. It was classed as a secret ingredient, but you know what? Just save your money. You don't need to put salt in the ground. Just use a sand, cement and dry mix method. You'll notice I tried this in one of my videos. If you go to the playlist, you'll see each of these tests with the results. You be the judge of it. But a lot of people are over complicating this. Think of it in simple terms. If there is a gap in the ground, if a bird flies over and does its business, it drops seeds into that gap, the gap will get roots, the roots will become trees, the trees will become weeds, and you'll get stuff growing. Which, if you remember in this 2026 update, when I moved to this house, there was a lot of big thick grass growing, which was simply wind blowing seeds into the gaps. If you fill the gap with a strong enough mix, that means seeds can't fall into the hole, they can't germinate. They will simply blow away to the grass or another place where they will look for moisture. So your goal is not to create a solid concrete base, it's simply to fill the gap to not allow seeds to have a place to germinate. If you think about how seeds germinate, they look for moisture, they send down a little root and they hold their root. Now look at this, I've filled all the gaps. If you drop something on here and when the wind blows, even a light wind, it will blow the wind and the seeds away. They will not be able to get root. So if this mix stays strong enough to stop weeds falling in and it cures, it's sand and it's cement. It's perfectly normal. If there is movement in the ground, then there is a wider issue. If your blocks are moving and the sand breaks and cracks, then you're creating gaps again. You remember with the big block paving, I did this with slabs as well. So it's not something that you need to overly complicate. I did this in a small alleyway garden in my original house. I did it on the wide driveway. I did it in block paving. I did it in crazy paving. I did it in bigger gaps. The same thing. Brushing in sand, brushing in cement. It didn't need to be wet. I didn't need to use a cake batter mix. I didn't need to push it into the gaps. There wasn't any complications that need this. Again, the same rule applies. There's loads of big gaps in my crazy paving. I went round and brushed in cement and sand to fill up the gaps. And have I got weeds? No, I haven't. These are smaller blocks. They move underfoot. So this is somewhere where you can use a slightly stronger concrete mix just to stop them cracking. I'm doing an entirely new basketball court. I laid down the pavers myself. I put a plastic membrane underneath it. I put down a solid foundation so the slabs don't move. And then what did I do? The same concept, dry concrete mix. I used this multiple times. There may be questions. I've had questions in the comments about this, but I encourage you to look at the comments and then see if they've tried this, because a lot of people will look at a couple of videos on YouTube and regurgitate that same information without testing it really. So look for a trusted source, look for someone who's doing it, look at their video, see if they've got videos updates yearly every few years showing you how it works. 2017 I did this, and then 5 years later 2022 I showed you what it looked like. That was a real life view. Over 5 years the ground will move. There was a slight gap generated, and then we had surface weeds. So after 5 years, I did the same thing, got rid of the surface weeds, and then brushed in the dry mix again. It's as simple as brushing. If you can brush the floor, I don't think it's very time consuming. Some other methods out there get very messy. You'll have to be on your hands and knees on the ground. That's kind of, as we get older, we don't want to do that. So this, I used gloves. I mixed the sand and cement together. And I'm just showing you what I did. If it worked for me in multiple locations, it's no reason why it shouldn't work for you. In my original house, we didn't have many bird activity. In this new house, it's a very green area, many trees, a lot of birds all around. What that means is there's more seeds being fallen on the ground. So make sure you fill the gaps. The seeds won't germinate. You won't get weeds. If the weeds are growing from under the ground, that is an entirely different thing. You get rid of them and you stop the moisture going down, because the concrete allows the moisture to stop when it rains. If you have a good driveway, or when you lay the slabs, if they are pointing towards your drain, the surface water will drain away to your drain. So I remember when I did this on my original drive, my garden section, we had a drive channel, and all the rain, when it was cured, came down to the channel and then it went away in the drain. So it shouldn't cause any problems. If you're using this in block paving, you can still fill the gaps. Some blocks are permeable, which means the water goes through. I did that test. You can check on my playlist. I showed you that. So as you made the comments, I'm happy to test them when I get time. Every couple of years, I'll do like a little look at the comments and I'll be like, oh, okay, this person made a valid question. Let me try that. Is he right? And then in most cases, you don't know until you try. And I'm here to test it for you. And I proved that it worked. We tried it in block paving. We tried it in slabs. We covered the gaps. We checked if water would still permeate. And then, because it works, you can see I've been doing this over and over again because it works. If it didn't work, I wouldn't be doing it. In this new house, why did I do this method? It's easier than the other methods, it's cheaper, and I was able to do it in a couple of hours. I got a bag of sand, £3, £4 for a bag of sand, £6 for a cement bag, and I was able to mix them together. Simple mix. Make sure it's mixed together nicely like I'm doing here. You can see I mix it with my hands wearing gloves. It's easier on your back. You could use a spade, but then it's more harder. You can't get through everything. It gets a toll on your back. And once it's mixed together, this cement didn't need to be as grey. You'll notice the color of the cement here. the color has changed, then you start scooping it on the ground, you start brushing it in the gaps. Start in one corner, slowly make your way around. And I notice here I got more cement to put more cement in because I wanted it to be a little bit more solid, because these smaller slabs underfoot can move over the years. So over the next year, I will show you another update of how this looks, and then you can judge for yourself. There's no reason it shouldn't work. There's no specific sand here. You can go to the building sand section of your local DIY store. You don't want stones in there ideally, but if that's all you can get, you can brush it and the stones won't fall into the gaps, and you can just clean them up afterwards. So it's not like you have to be specifically grain, you have to check what grain is. It's not that complicated. You need to fill in the gap with sand and cement. Whichever sand you can get a hold of, the finer the better, meaning the smaller grit. Building sand is normally good. And you'll see here I took my time, started in one corner, slowly went around, brushed up, and this was a very big location. I think it was something like 32 slabs by 32 slabs if I remember. And you'll see at the end of this process what happens is you get a little bit of dusting left over. Don't worry, that cement and sand mix is not gonna cause you any problems, because when it next rains or when it next gets windy, it will just blow away. So there's no reason for you to worry about it. And the gap is filled. When the gap is filled, there is no holes for seeds to drop in and germinate. And that's the whole situation. You're covering a gap to stop weeds germinating. And these slabs are a little bit rustic. They're a little bit multi-sized, as in some are thick and some are thin. You can see the gap is there. If the slabs have been laid correctly, your gap will be minimal, which is even better, because if the gap is smaller, you use less sand. You don't have to buy as much. Hoping this helps you, but keep an eye on this process. Over time, this works and you can look at it. I'll link you to a playlist of all the videos as part of this masterclass, and I'll link you to mrmakestuff.com where you can see the guide. You can even download it and each step is laid out for you to help you get through this. I'm hoping this has helped you. Let me know your comments below. The next update, I'll try and answer all of those comments. I'm here to share what's working for me. I'm not selling you anything, so there's no benefit for me. I just want you to be weed free and live in the UK without these nasty weeds growing in your slabs. See you on the next one.